Todd Chrisley's most controversial comments since leaving jail. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another video. I hope everyone's having a great day. Before watching the video, please subscribe and like it. Todd Chrisley may have left prison behind, but the scandal didn't stay locked up. Since his release, the former Chrisley Knows Best star has been on something of a media spree, and let's just say, his remarks are raising more eyebrows than his poorly blended contour. Never one to shy away from the spotlight, Todd's post-prison commentary has ranged from tone-deaf to downright offensive, whether he's discussing his wife, his fellow inmates, or reality stars who didn't ask to be name-dropped. Todd is reminding us all why silence is sometimes the most luxurious accessory. Let's take a look at the most controversial things Todd has said since trading prison bars for podcast mix. Todd Chrisley's most controversial quotes since leaving prison. Personally, I'm not a fan of anyone who tries to hoodwink the IRS. But here we are talking about Todd. His Liberis-style life has been forced back into our algorithms. But this time he isn't minding his P's and Q's. This one had jaws on the floor, especially considering the widespread reports of poor conditions and inedible meals in federal prisons. In December 2023, Todd told News Nation, "The food is literally, I'm not exaggerating, the food is dated and is out of date by, at minimum, a year. It's a year past expiration, and they are literally starving these men to death here. These men are getting, I don't know, they are getting 1,000 calories a day." But upon his release, the podcaster was changing his tune. 7 facts about Bram Stoker's Dracula featured by. While on his podcast, he revealed, "I had Chick-fil-A. I'm not gonna come on here and lie." Todd recalled, "I had Chick-fil-A. I had Burger King. I had pizza. I had Culver's," which let me just go ahead and tell you, this is not an ad. But Culver's is my jam now. The comments immediately sparked backlash, with critics calling it dismissive and out of touch. Was this a prison stay or a vacation? Coming from someone with a history of privilege, it felt like yet another moment where the bad guy is given special treatment. He added, "I had Olive Garden once, but I didn't like it. It was a rough moment." Todd really said this about his wife, publicly. During their first podcast episode since being released from prison, Todd noted, "I'm not going to lie. When I first saw you when I got out of that car, I started thinking about going back. But then I thought, let me embrace this. This is a moment." Todd made it clear that when he first saw Julie, he wasn't attracted to her. The quote sent fans reeling, and not in the swooning way. Julie Chrisley, who stood by him through a federal trial, sentencing, and her own prison time, deserved better than being reduced to a nay first impression in a post-prison soundbite. Instead of complimenting her, Todd went on to say, "I will say, you set the bar low. You had nowhere to go but up. Is this what true love sounds like? Yikes." The internet lit up with fans calling the comment disrespectful, unnecessary, and proof that Todd's PR coaching might need a tune-up. This old lady. This one crossed a line and then sprinted past it. Todd dropped this ominous bomb during a podcast appearance, suggesting that Patricia Altschul was allegedly in a dire health situation. Naturally, it all happened on Instagram after Pat commented, "There goes the neighborhood." Todd did not take the light-hearted joke well and clapped back. She said, "Well, there goes the neighborhood," he said. "I've never had an issue with her. I've always held her in high regard. I always thought she was a classy lady." He added, "This is a woman that's in her 80s. She could be my mother." I said, "Please don't. Please don't go back on this old lady. Do not do that. Because at the end of the day, she's old." Not only did it come off as cruel, but it also felt like a cheap attempt at stirring up headlines. Fans and fellow Bravolebs slammed the comment as exploitative and inappropriate. Todd Chrisley's most controversial comments since leaving jail. A look at his post-prison outspokenness. Todd Chrisley, the outspoken patriarch of Chrisley Knows Best, is no stranger to controversy. Since his release from federal prison earlier this year, Chrisley has wasted no time reclaiming his voice. Whether through podcast appearances, interviews, or social media, his unfiltered comments have sparked widespread debate and renewed interest in the high-profile reality star. In the months following his release, Chrisley has spoken about a range of issues, from his family's legal battles to the state of the entertainment industry, and his willingness to share blunt opinions has drawn both support and criticism. Many fans see his candor as refreshing, while others believe his comments cross the line. Below, we take a closer look at Todd Chrisley's most headline-making statements since leaving jail and why they have ignited such intense conversations. Taking aim at the justice system. One of Chrisley's earliest and most controversial post-prison remarks came during an episode of his daughter Savannah Chrisley's podcast, Unlocked. The reality star claimed that his time behind bars opened his eyes to what he described as deep systemic flaws in the American justice system. "I'm not going to sugarcoat it," Chrisley said. "The system is broken. People are being locked away who don't belong there, while the real criminals are walking free." While some praised him for shedding light on the prison experience, others criticized Chrisley for appearing to downplay the severity of the charges that led to his incarceration. His comments sparked debates on social media, with users divided over whether he was championing prison reform or simply deflecting blame. Clapping back at rumors about his marriage. Todd and his wife Julie Chrisley's marriage has been a frequent target of tabloid speculation. Since his release, Todd has addressed these rumors head-on, often with a sharp edge. In one particularly fiery interview, he dismissed claims that his marriage was in trouble as trash headlines made up by people who can't stand to see a strong couple survive the storm. He went on to say, "Julie is my rock, my soulmate, and anyone who questions that clearly doesn't know the first thing about us." While fans of the show applauded his defense of Julie, critics noted the comment's combative tone. Todd seems more interested in attacking the press than just telling the truth, one blogger wrote. Nevertheless, his unapologetic stance reinforced his long-standing image as a fiercely protective family man, calling out former friends and associates. Perhaps the most shocking comments came when Chrisley directly named former friends and business associates he believes betrayed him during his legal troubles. "There are people who sat at my dinner table, smiled in my face, and then stabbed me in the back," he said during another Unlocked episode. "They know who they are, and they should be ashamed." Chrisley did not hold back when pressed for details, suggesting that several unnamed individuals cooperated with authorities or spread damaging rumors to distance themselves from the family's legal woes. These remarks quickly became a trending topic, with fans speculating about the identities of the people he was referring to. Legal analysts have warned that such comments could come back to haunt Chrisley if ongoing legal matters arise. Still, he has shown little interest in tempering his remarks, insisting that he has nothing left to lose. Weighing in on celebrity culture, Chrisley has also taken aim at the entertainment industry, describing Hollywood as a vulture culture in which people are chewed up and spit out the moment they stop making money. On a recent podcast episode, he said, "I spent years playing the game, showing up to events, smiling for the cameras, thinking that these people were my friends. The moment our lives got hard, those same people vanished." This comment resonated with fans who have watched countless public figures experience similar treatment. But it also sparked backlash from industry insiders who felt he was painting with too broad a brush. Standing up for his children. One area where Chrisley's comments have been almost universally praised is his defense of his children. Following a spate of negative stories about his daughter Savannah and son Chase, he issued a passionate public statement. "People need to leave my kids alone," Chrisley declared. "They've been through enough. They're strong, but they're human, and the constant attacks are cruel." This heartfelt plea struck a chord with many fans, though some critics accused Chrisley of hypocrisy, pointing out that the family's fame is built on their willingness to share their personal lives on television. Why his comments matter. Chrisley's comments have been dissected not only because of their content, but also because of the timing. Coming so soon after his release, They raise questions about how the reality star plans to rebuild his public image. Some believe his outspoken nature could complicate any potential return to television, as networks may be wary of his unpredictability. Others argue that his candor is exactly what makes him compelling. Todd Chrisley has always been polarizing. One entertainment journalist noted, "Love him or hate him, people are listening." A family in transition. The Chrisley family remains in a period of transition as they adapt to life after prison. Julie Chrisley, who was released shortly after Todd, has maintained a lower profile, choosing not to weigh in on most of her husband's statements. Savannah, however, has publicly supported her father, praising his willingness to speak his truth. In a recent Instagram post, she wrote, "My dad has always been real, and that's why so many people love him. He's been through hell and back, but he's still standing, and he's not afraid to use his voice." What's next for Todd Chrisley? Whether Todd Chrisley's comments will ultimately help or hurt his reputation remains to be seen. For now, they have ensured that he remains at the center of public conversation. Sources close to the family say he is weighing several opportunities, including new business ventures and a possible return to reality TV. But if his recent statements are any indication, Chrisley is unlikely to tone down his trademark bluntness. As one longtime family friend put it, Todd has never been someone who plays it safe. He's going to speak his mind, even if it ruffles feathers. That's just who he is. For better or worse, Todd Chrisley's post-prison life has been defined by controversy, and his bold comments suggest that he has no plans to retreat from the spotlight anytime soon. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.